Hi, I'm CJ, and I'm one of the owners of www.repairguitar.com. Repairguitar.com is located in Freehold, New Jersey. This is Eric Solomon. Today, Eric's going to be talking to you about how to install an Earvana nut on a SG. This is an actual Gibson SG. It's actually a pretty nice guitar. And he's going to go through the advantages of the Earvana nut, why you want to do it, and why you want to have a professional guitar repair technician install the nut for you. So, Eric, all right, man.
All right. Thank you, CJ. In the setup video, they talked about compensating the saddles in order to get the best intonation so that when you're playing up the fingerboard, the notes stay in tune. However, one thing that you can't adjust during a setup is the compensation at the nut here, this piece. And that's also important, particularly when playing chords in first position. So let's have a listen to just a couple of open chords and hear what they sound like. That's one in particular, the D chord, where a lot of times you can hear that this note right here on the G string, the A, doesn't quite ring true in tune. And that's what we're going to try to improve today with the installation of the new nut. So we're going to get the strings off and get started. Just going to use a string winder to Okay, the trickiest part about this modification is getting the old nut out. They should be tacked in with just a little bit of glue to hold it in place because the strings hold them down, but sometimes you'll find there'll either be lacquer along the side of it or just when it was put on, too much glue was used and it can be quite difficult to get out. So we're going to use an X-Acto knife or a razor blade, either one will do the job, in order to score along the edge just to separate any lacquer or glue that might be resting along the edge. Otherwise, when you pop the nut out, you'll blow out a piece and it'll look really ugly. Okay, so once that's done, you can use a block pressed against the edge. You gotta find a flat edge. And a hammer to just sort of tap it and break any glue that might be holding it. There you go. You don't want to hit it too hard, but it should come right out. If that little tap doesn't do it, you can finish the job by gently pulling it out with a set of pullers. In this case, it's not necessary. So once that's out, this is the piece we're going to be installing. This is made by a company called Earvana. There are a couple of other manufacturers that make compensated tuning systems. The Earvana is the easiest to install and use, so that's the one we'll be using. The next step is going to be to clear out any excess glue that is in the nut slot. So for that, I'll use a small chisel. You want to make sure you don't remove any wood. You just want to get out any glue that might be sitting in there and it's going to stop the nut from seating properly. You can also use a nut seating file, in this case 3/16, in order to dress the bottom of the slot and make sure it's flat. Just a little bit should do it. Now out of the packaging, the nut is going to require a little bit of tailoring to fit the instrument. It never fits 100% right out of the box. In this case, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little space underneath there. That's because the nut is too wide, so we're going to have to make it a little smaller. To do that, we're just going to run it across a piece of 320 wet or dry sandpaper. Want to make sure you can get it evenly, and we're just going to take down the back side of the nut so that it fits. Just going to take a look at it as we're doing it to make sure everything's going evenly. It's not something to be done quickly, because if you take off too much, you can't put it back. So after a few minutes of fitting, the nut should fit very nicely, both along the sides, flat along the bottom of the slot, and because this is a shelf nut, it should be resting nicely on top of the fingerboard. Once you've achieved that, we're going to hold it in place with just a small dab of super glue. Just a small drop on the bass side and a small drop on the treble side should do it. And then you can place the nut in place and hold it. Should set in a matter of seconds. Okay, with the strings back in place, we're ready to get it tuned to pitch. Okay, with the nut seated properly, resting on the fingerboard, and everything in place as it should be, we can see that the strings are still a little high off the fingerboard. So, in order to make the guitar more playable, we're going to have to take these down using our nut slotting files. I'm going to take the string out, put the file in the slot, and just run it back and forth a few times. Once again, nothing about this process is fast. You just want to remove a little bit at a time, because it's real easy to go too far and then the part's ruined. I'm checking each string after I file by pressing at the 3rd fret and then just seeing how much room there is between the string and the 1st fret. When set up properly, there should be just a tiny bit of room there. There's still too much. Okay, so after a few more minutes of cutting the slots, guitar's ready to play. And now we can listen to the difference in intonation. It's a subtle change, but for the discerning player, it can make a world of difference.
So as you can see, Eric has installed the Earvana nut, and as you can hear, the intonation, not just at the octave, but throughout the fingerboard, is so much more in tune with itself. Remember, guitars are tempered tune instruments, and they're designed to play closely in tune with themselves up and down the board, but very often, especially on Gibsons, you'll find that within those first 5 or 6 frets you're going to have when you play your G's, your E minors, your A's, there'll be issues. The Earvana nut system helps to resolve those issues. Having it installed properly by a well-trained, competent tech is the key to bringing your Gibson, your Fender, your acoustic up to the next level. And that's what we do here at RepairGuitar.com. So please go to RepairGuitar.com, that's www.repairguitar.com, so that we can help you be the best player that you can be. You have a great day.